Good day, gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. The book 3, Checkmate in the Empress Club series. We are on chapter 11. On chapter 11 is called Devil in a Blue Dress. Now this chapter has two parts, dealing with the devil, so to speak. The first part is called The Path of Least Resistance, and the second part is called The Lesser Evil. So, without further ado, let's get running right into it. The Path of Least Resistance. Now, I call the Path of Least Resistance shaking hands with the devil, because according to Napoleon Hill, he said that the greatest failing of mankind is taking the path of least resistance. And if you really think about it, I say that I call this shaking the devil's hand, because when you take the path of least resistance, you open yourself up to evil. Either for evil to work through you, or for you to do evil. And this is why I call it Devil in the Blue Dress. Well, Devil in the Blue Dress, it came from The Lesser Evil, because I love that movie with, I think it's Denzel Washington, and a painting someone did of it, with the devil in the blue dress. Like, the devil looks sexy as hell, but it's still the devil. The end result is the same. Anyway, we can get into that later. The path of least resistance, according to Napoleon Hill, is one of human beings' greatest failings. Gentlemen, you in the Empress Club, the path of least resistance should not even be on your mind, it shouldn't even be in your list of options. You to take the high road at all times, and you to do the right thing at all times. Now, of course, in times of war, that's different, because that's life and death. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about everyday things. You are to never even contemplate taking the path of least resistance. And in addition to that, Napoleon Hill said that wanting something for nothing is a cancer to the human soul. And to me, wanting something for nothing, how should I put it, is the bait on the hook to get you on the path of least resistance. Gentlemen, whatever you want, you must work for it. The day you want something for nothing, you can mark that day on the calendar. That's the beginning of your downfall. Like the character in Paper Chaser said, that when you want money, you must make it the old-fashioned way. You earn it. You work for what you want, gentlemen. Not just money. Everything you want, you work for it. No shortcuts, no cheats, nothing. No dancing with the devil, no shaking hands with the devil. You pay the piper up front. I don't know if I did. I think I did a rant on that. Pay the piper up front. Aesop knew what he was talking about. You will pay the piper up front or on the back end. Gentlemen, if you're not paying up front, your children are going to pay for it on the back end. And that's not fair. Because your children had nothing to do with what you did. So you pay the piper up front. You avoid this demonic path in life to take the easy way out. And you make sure you search your soul to make sure wanting for something for nothing is not in it. Don't give wanting something for nothing an inch in your life, because it's going to lead you down the wrong path, gentlemen. Thank you. And the thing is, what makes wanting something for nothing so dangerous This is like a sub part of the path of least resistance. Wanting something for nothing is like I forgot the story with the Syrians. The Greek story with the Syrians. The beautiful voice that lures you to kill yourself by dashing your boat against the rocks. That is what the path of least resistance does to you. And wanting something for nothing is the Syrian's voice. The beautiful voice. And just like Jason did, not Jason because he was tied up, the other man on the boat plugged their ears in box so they cannot hear the siren, so they can survive being dashed against the rocks and wasting their life. Gentlemen, working for what you want and earning your keep is the box you put in your ears so you don't hear the siren of wanting something for nothing. Now the thing about wanting something for nothing poisons your soul is that it destroys ambition. You're always looking for a way out, always looking for a zigzag. So you can't achieve much because to achieve much requires much of you. And if you're always looking for an out and a zigzag, you destroy yourself, you destroy your ambition, you destroy your work ethic. You destroy your power of focus, of concentration, of persistence and steadfastness. Because you want it now, and you want the easiest way to get it. You're short-circuiting what God has built into you so that you can achieve much. So to me, wanting something for nothing is a demonic thing. It's an insult to God. Excuse me, I got ahead of my notes. I wrote it down, but because I was looking down to see what to say next. I've already said it. Destroy, yeah, that's right. It destroys the work ethic. Good. The next thing is it pollutes our character. Like take for example, a lady had dropped her purse. But we were children, like 15 years old. And I told the lady, "Miss, you dropped your purse." Now, one of the other young men I worked with, he had a problem with me for that because he wanted to go get the purse to take her money. So I was like, "Chief, you saw the woman drop her purse. Now, if I found your purse and I see who dropped it, now if your ID was in it, I won't touch your money. But if I found it and there's money in it, that's a different story." But I saw the woman drop it. He saw her drop it. And the thing is, he was not going to say anything to the woman. Now me, I couldn't take that woman's purse because I saw her drop it. And I tell you this, to this day, this young man, well goodness, he's like what, 43 now. He lives his life as a gambler. He lives his life on the fly. He only goes to work to get money to gamble. I said to him on 2 occasions, if you save half the money that you use to gamble, you'll be better off. Just take 1 year, save half the money you gamble on. But his soul is so decrepit that he can't see that. I'm telling you, this young man spends anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 a year gambling. Now his logic was, well, everything in life is a gamble, which is true. Which is true. Just like farmers, when you farm, you plant your seed, wait for harvest, you gambling. But it's not the same thing. The farmer is actually working. He's actually building. What is this young man building by gambling? Nothing, because his money goes from his hand to the gambling house. What has he built? Like, what has he sown to reap in the future? Nothing. And he doesn't realize that he's trapped in there. For him to sit down and be disciplined, focused, persistent, he'll go crazy. And the sad thing is, when he does win, he blows it. And I told him the reason why you blow the money is because you didn't work for it. You don't have a plan in place. You're not doing anything. And he likes to reference my life, how I start a lot of businesses and they fail. So I told him, well, there's no guarantee in life. But I've started a business. I invested my time, energy, and effort and money into something with the hopes of it making a return from providing a service. He is providing no service gambling. And that's another thing wanting something for nothing does. It twists your mind. It twists your mind. Now, the last time I saw him, he and I fell out because he used his children to get money from me. And I heard that he won $25,000. And you know what he did with that money? Blew it. Going to strip clubs. You blew $25,000 going to strip club. You gamble for 15 years. All you do is be in the same cycle. You win a large sum of money, and what do? Go and blow it. Why? Because he had no plan in place. Because he wanted something for nothing. He took the path of least resistance to get his money. So, excuse me. He didn't have a plan for his money, so his money just left. He didn't work hard for his money, so it just leave his hand easily. Now, I just use that as an example, but the same thing can be done with your other resources. Gentlemen, you cannot ever make friends with this demon. Something for nothing is not a human failing for pretty. A lot of people have been destroyed by it. It seems enticing, but it's very dangerous. All right, let's move on. Oh, yes, another thing, wanting something for nothing does, taking the path of least resistance does, it destroys your self-reliance. It destroys your sense of power in self, because you're also always putting your hope outside of yourself. For me, I take my money and I bet on myself and my skills and my ability. That I don't get a return, but that's another story. But I invest in me. I invest my money in me and my skills and my ability. And my friend, he invests in gambling, getting money quick, getting large sums of money quick. So he will never learn to be self-reliant. So he will always be tossed to and fro at the whim of his situation. He can never be commander of his soul. And gentlemen, you must be able to control yourself and depend on yourself and be self-reliant. And the first step towards doing that is to shun wanting something for nothing and stay off that path of least resistance. And another thing, poison that I see comes from wanting something for nothing and taking the path of least resistance. You become a user. And excuse me. And to me, I don't think the person who walks that line realize that they don't even see people as human beings, just a means to an end, which is very disrespectful. And usually, they don't realize that people see how They see them. Like every time you see someone who, like, take for example, someone who either likes, who has bad habits. Whenever you see them, you get a sinking feeling in your stomach. Oh, they're going to want something. That's just like with alcoholics who live in the bar. That's well, me, I don't drink anyway, but that's one reason why I'm glad I don't drink, and what reinforces my need not to drink is that whenever you pass the bar, you can't buy me something cold. Dude, that's your habit. I work for my money for me, not your habit. And that's another thing the path of least resistance does. It opens you up to bad habits. That, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's in the next part 2 of the series, of this chapter. Yes. People who take the path of least resistance become users. And you've got to watch that, gentlemen. So don't think you are going to walk down that road, take that path of least resistance, and people aren't going to notice the black cloud around you. And they're going to shun you. And in life, as human beings, to make it, you need other people. So if the people around you avoid you, you limit your chances of advancement in life. In addition to added to the fact that you're a user. Let's see, where else? Where was I? Never accomplished, achieve anything, easy come, easy go. Oh, yes. The path of least resistance and wanting something for nothing gets you in the vicious cycle of easy come, easy go. So I had a gentleman I know, his grandmother had passed, and he had inherited money, and the first thing he did was bought an Escalade. So I asked him, so I mean, I didn't begrudge him his money. I was saying, that's what you do with your grandmother's life. Buy a car. You didn't even set money aside for your children's education. Easy come, easy go. Gentlemen, you cannot get on the path of least resistance. It's going to make you make very stupid decisions. If I had inherited $1 million on my grandmother's passing, and she rest in peace, the last thing I'm going to do is buy an expensive car. Because I didn't have it before, so I didn't die before I got it, so I'm not going to die if I don't get it. I'm going to make sure my children get a good education. Now, what they do with their life afterwards is their business, but I make sure to do my job to put them in a good position to do better. Now, if they don't do better, that's their fault. But I don't see the sense in right and wrong in my children's future. That's just me. Anyway, John, the path of least resistance is going to make you make very foolish decisions that has implications not only for now or the future, but in your children's future. That goes down the bloodline. Remember, gentlemen, don't get caught up in that easy come, easy go, a vicious cycle. It's going to come back and bite you real hard. Just give me a second, please. I'm seeing this. All right, listen. To me, it might be a stretch, but it may seem like a stretch to you. But this is what I feel and what I believe. Like another disease of the path of least resistance is that it leads to moral cowardice. And I feel when you indulge in moral cowardice, you open the door to allow evil to enter the sphere of existence through you. Like Dr. Miles Monroe said that in order to operate on earth legally, spirits must have a body. And I feel that moral cowardice makes room for evil to enter you. And once you get comfortable with moral cowardice, you can create even more and more, and thus making more and more room for evil to work through you. Like take, for example, the soldiers in the Holocaust. At first, they didn't want to do the killing. Then the more they did it, the more vicious they became. But not only that, the less they saw their victims as human beings. Now, of course, if they had said no, they would have been shot. But me, to tell you the truth, no, I'm not in a situation, so I can't say that. So this is just me from this point of view. I wouldn't have done it. I could not have done it. No, that's me. Now, if I was in that situation, what I've done, I would hate to think I would just kill someone for no reason just because I was told to. I couldn't do it. But then I didn't walk in those men's shoes. I didn't shoulder the burden that they had to bear. So I can't condemn them fully because I haven't been in their shoes. But on the real, I couldn't have done it. I would have to be short. I'd rather be short than to do that. That's me talking now, not if I was back there. Right now, I'd have to be short. Because right is right. And wrong is wrong. And I'm going to die for my morals, values, and principles. I'm sorry. But anyway, I feel, like Dr. Miles Monroe said, when you get exercise, but not say exercise moral cowardice. When you exhibit moral cowardice, I feel you open yourself up for evil to enter this earth through you. That's just how I feel. Alright, I just talked about it. Everyone is doing it. Nothing burns me more than to hear that. Everyone is doing it. Well, only because this is for 10-year-olds and older and minors. I will say what I want to say. That sets my soul on fire. Everyone, I don't care. It's wrong. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I don't care who's doing it. I don't care how many people is doing it. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And that's how the mob mentality starts. And everyone knows a group of people, no matter how angry they are, but do absolutely nothing until one person does something. And then there's an avalanche. All hell breaks loose. And I feel that's what moral cowardice does. And there's the reason why they say all hell breaks loose. Because I feel demons enter the spirit, the earth, through people once they exercise moral cowardice. Okay, just say. Alright, that's that now. We'll be going on to the police resistant trap. Oh, okay. I got ahead of myself. So I'm ahead of myself. Anyway, like there's a gentleman from Cleveland named Warren Lance. And he always says, the devil never shows you the bitter end. And the path of least resistance offers you so much with you doing so little. Right then, that should tell you something. That a hook is being placed in your mouth. And I remember my grandmother was saying something to an older female relative. And she had asked, how does the fisherman get the hook in the fish's mouth? There you go. Thank you very much. But that's how the fisherman the fisherman baits the hook. He hides the hook. But you know what causes the fish to get caught? It's not the fisherman, you know. It's because the fish wanted a free meal. So gentlemen, the path of least resistance and wanting something for nothing is the bait to hide the hook. But you wanting something and not wanting to work for it is how the devil gets the hook in your mouth. And then the depravity begins. All right, good. I got ahead of myself with that. Now, we're on section 2 of Devil in the Blue Dress. I call it the Devil's Own. This is the danger of picking the lesser evil. I remember I had done something in school. I think it was 11th grade. My teacher said, that seems so out of character to you. Why did you do that? So I told her, oh, I picked the lesser evil, the lesser evil. And she lost her mind. She said, there's no such thing as a lesser evil. She said that is a trick from the devil because it is to get you comfortable with evil. So she went on to explain that the trick is to show you 3 types of evil. One that looks all fluffy and innocent, one that is despicable, and the third one is so egregious you don't even look at it. So looking at that, you pick the easiest, fluffiest, fuzziest one. So now she said, now the devil has got you comfortable with evil. So now when you take the easiest, fluffiest one, the trick is now to make the one that the second greatest evil look like the lesser evil by making something far more evil than the one you couldn't look at the first time. So guess what? The lesser evil, which was the second evil in the first 3 evils, you could live with that. And before you know it, a third evil is introduced that is more despicable and grotesque than the last evil in the first 3 evils that you couldn't look at. And guess what? Because this evil that was despicable in the beginning looks like nothing compared to now the newest third evil. And guess what? You're comfortable picking that. And guess what happens again? An evil greater than the third one that looks so despicable shows up. And then you're comfortable with this evil. And then another evil is introduced. So she said, that is a trap. Picking the lesser evil is a trap. Gentlemen, pick no evil. Choose no evil. Touch no evil. And then she's saying something else that I never forgot. That evil is never an only child. In the least, it's a Siamese twin. There's another one attached right to it. So even though you introduced the 3, in the least, there's 6. The other one is right there. And then she said, on the other spectrum, evil has an ocean of siblings. So she says, she told me you have to be careful with getting comfortable with evil. You have no idea what you're opening yourself up to. Well, that scared the living daylights out of me. So that's how I live my life, and I'm passing it on to you. Gentlemen, there's no such thing as a lesser evil. An evil is not an only child. In the least, evil has a Siamese twin. On the other end, an ocean of siblings. You are opening yourself up for God knows what. Getting comfortable with evil, gentlemen. Like the Bible says, resist the devil. Thank you very much. So don't even think about getting comfortable with evil. There is no such thing as a lesser evil. All right, let's see what else. Oh, now, excuse me. Now, this, I'm finished with that, but this spins off from it because it's something I noticed after she said that with vices. I notice that people, that you got to be careful of your vices. So I noticed another, so I make sure I check myself, because that's what I saw in 7th grade. When you point a finger at others, know that 3 point back at you when they're called check yourself. I noticed that people who have a vice, there's usually 1, 2, or even more vices along with it. Like there's their main vice, and then there's others trailing behind. And that's when I saw what my teacher meant. So that's why I live my life with strict military discipline, with exception to chocolate. But anyway, and you know the story on chocolate. I deny myself, just enjoy it more. Like, there was this gentleman who, I mean, he's always drinking. And I'm like, how does this man keep a job? How does he function? Then one day, he'd won a lot of money. He had a lot of money. And because I had a job, I used to park his groceries, he gave me $20. Normally, he gave me $1 for parking groceries. And he was like, well, I hit a lick. So he gave me $20 as opposed to $1. So I saw him 3 months later. He was smoking. So I was like, oh, you smoke too? This him, I just started, to ease the stress, because he lost money. And I noticed, oh my God, this gentleman, he gambles, he drinks, and now he smokes. And just what my teacher said, when you pick the lesser evil, there's in the least a Siamese twin or an ocean of siblings. His vice was gambling. I thought it was drinking, but it was gambling. And with that came drinking, and then later on smoking. Then once I saw that, I noticed that trend in other people. The vice that you see them usually indulge in is usually a sign that there's a greater one that you don't know about, a private one. So either they smoke to calm their nerves because of the vice, like in that gentleman's case, gambling. And gentlemen, you've got to be careful of your vices. It's a means by which evil can enter your life and surround you. This gentleman, I thought he was drinking, but he's a gambler. So drinks to the point where a borderline alcoholic. And now he's smoking. I met another man just like that, another one through church. We're doing the outreach ministry. He was an alcoholic. And it started off simple enough because he gambled. So you drink and you smoke cigars while you gamble. Everything was going fine until he had a losing streak. Then the drinking, just for the game, became a way to deal with losing. And he didn't notice it, because then when he has a winning streak, he just goes back to drinking like normal until he has a losing streak, and he drinks more and more and more. And then the cigar smoking led his way to cigarettes. And it got to the point where he lost so much that he started doing hard drugs. And one day, he lost so much money that he got in an accident. And that didn't stop him. But once he rehabilitated himself, he went right back to the same habit. Then he lost so much money and he drank so much, he got another accident. He got hit with a drunk driving charge on top of getting hurt. That stopped him? No. He's right back there again. Same thing. But this time, he cheated the people who he was with, were gambling with. And they, in turn, when they realized what he'd done, they chased after him in a high-speed chase. He crashed, and they shot him up. Well, he survived and ended up in a wheelchair. And all I was thinking when he was testifying was what my teacher was saying about the vices. I mean, the lesser evil. Gentlemen, you've got to be careful of your vices. My mind is chocolate, and I make sure I keep that sucker under control, because I would be a balloon if I eat chocolate like how I want to. And that in itself brings health problems. And with health problems, I can't function properly, and that's not me. I need to function properly because I'm very creative, so I need my mind to be working properly. Therefore, my body has to be working properly. So I'm very careful about chocolate. Well, anyway, gentlemen, that's me. I'm out. The chapter 12 is going to be alchemy, and that'll be the final chapter. And of course, I've got a bonus for you. Thank you for your time, gentlemen. I'll catch you on the flip side. Goodbye.